Good morning, students. Welcome to the class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Are you able to see the screen, children?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now, from your first flight textbook, today we will be doing a poem which you all will enjoy. The name of the poem is Amanda, written by a poetess, Robin Klein. She's a poetess. Okay, let me ask you a few things before we proceed. Now, every child feels that she or he is controlled and instructed not to do one thing or the another. This everybody experiences, yes or no? Whenever you try doing something, there are a lot of there are a lot of restrictions which are put on y'all, saying that don't do this, don't do that, why did you do this, why did you do that? Isn't it? Your freedom is curtailed. Curtailed is nothing but it is cut off, abbreviated. Yes? Every time you plan out something, maybe you want to go for an outing with your friend, maybe you want to plan a party, and then from behind a sound comes, no, you're not supposed to go. No, you're not supposed to do this. Why did you go? Why did you do this? So many types of restrictions are being lagged on you. There is a constant nagging behind. Nagging is nothing but, what is the meaning of nagging? Just cut off few things from your maybe some sort of irritation. Don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that, sit like this, sit like that, wear this dress, don't wear such dresses. All these things sometimes children find very frustrated. So, in this poem, it depicts the state of a girl's mind. Here, we are going to learn about a very small young girl whose name is Amanda, and we are going to see her state of mind, who is constantly instructed about do's and don'ts by her elders, especially by her mother. This she has to do. This is a set of thing she has to follow. This she shouldn't do it. So the child mostly goes into such a condition that we don't understand what is the psychology between this. So, especially today in this poem, we will be learning about the child psychology. What the child thinks when such things are put on them. They are having few thoughts, few ideas wherein they want to explore or wherein they want to live their life accordingly. But there is a constant nagging by their elders and by their parents saying that don't do this and don't do that. A set of do's and don'ts, but children want to live in the world of dreams. They don't want to come out of that. They just want to enjoy themselves. So, here we will be having a conversation between a mother and this little girl, Amanda, wherein her mother is keeping a constant eye on her and she's been continuously instructing her about, Amanda, don't do this, Amanda, don't do that, you have to do this, you have to do that. And listening to that, what happens? Children get irritated, they get frustrated, isn't it? Don't you feel that? Yes? Yes, yes, it's true. But sometimes all the instructions are not bad as such. We cannot blame every time to our parents. Okay, at times they are right because they love and care, so they give the instructions. But they need to think about the child psychology also. So, today in this poem, we will be learning about the child psychology wherein the children are living in the world of dreams. Especially this girl also is having a lot of, she's having a lot of ideas, lot of thoughts wherein she wants to live in the dreamland or dream world, but her mother doesn't want to do this. Okay. Before we proceed with the poem, if you have opened your textbook, let us read the poem once and then stanza by stanza, I will explain to you all. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. I'm an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? I'm a Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower in tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Stop that suckling at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Written by Robin Clint. So this is the poem. Now we shall see about the poet first, the poetess, and then stanza by stanza we will go with the explanation. Okay. Now, Robin Klin. Robin Maud Klin is a well-known Australian author of books for children. She was born on 28th February 1936 in Kempsey, New South Wales, and now resides near Melbourne. She is the poetess of this poem. Yes. Now, explanation stanza wise. The first stanza we will take now. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Now, the first stanza, 4 lines in the stanza. As I told you, this is a conversation between a mother and the daughter. And this first stanza, it has been narrated by her mother. So what did she say? Don't bite your nails. Many children have habit. I don't know how many of you are having a habit of biting nails. Teacher is explaining and you are busy with your biting of nails, isn't it? I know few of them will be doing that only now. Yes. So she says, don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Hunch is nothing but bend. When you're sitting, don't bend your shoulders. Why are you bending your shoulders? You have to sit straight. So this is one type of advice which is given by the parent. That is her mother. She's saying, you are not supposed to bite your nails. Remove your finger from your mouth. Don't sit with your shoulders bent. Don't hunch your shoulders. You have to sit up straight. Don't sit lazily. When you come for offline classes and then teacher is taking a class and then you people slowly you are no first you are sitting and then slowly your position is what? Literally you lie down on the desk. You come with that your hand on the
Hands
chin.
and shoulders.
Yes, you that hand on the chin and slowly you bend and then head down and then nicely relaxing and listening to teacher. So this is not a way that you have to sit in the class. How you have to sit? You have to sit straight, attentive, listening to what the particular teacher is explaining. So here the mother is saying, stop sitting in that lazy way. Stop sitting with your shoulders. Okay, don't bend your shoulders, don't raise your shoulders every time saying that you don't know anything. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. Don't move lazily. When you are called, come at once, be active. At times it happens in the class also when somebody calls you lazily, you'll get up. At home also, mommy is calling you for something. Mommy coming, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You'll be busy in your own world. And then again and again, the mother keeps on scolding you. When did I call you? When are you coming? Why are you behaving like this? So the same thing has been conversed by this mother to her daughter. He's saying, stop that slouching and sit up straight. Don't sit like a lazy bone. You have to sit straight. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda, she says. Okay, so to this to this stanza, to this conversation, Amanda is replying something. Okay, she is showing. She's reacting. Now, how she will react? What is there in her mind? What she wants to say. So, what she's saying now? There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So, she's saying, I dream of a quiet, relaxed place like an emerald sea, that like a deep green sea. Emerald is what? You all have seen the color, no? Emerald? you know, it's deep green sea. Sometimes if you see the ocean and the sea, so many types of colors you can see: blue, dark blue, whitish, green. Okay, so here Amanda is saying, I'm dreaming of a quiet, languid emerald sea. Languid is nothing but relaxed, when nobody is there, a very quiet place I want to be in, where the sole inhabitant is me. Sole inhabitant means nobody except me. I don't want anybody with me. I don't want anyone nagging at me. I don't want anybody giving me advice. I just want to be alone. I just want to be by myself. A mermaid. Who is a mermaid now? You can see a picture on the screen. She's a mermaid. Okay? You say, I just want to be like a mermaid. Mermaid is nothing but it is an imaginary sea creature wherein you can see half of the portion is like a fish and half of the portion is like a woman, a lady. Drifting blissfully. Blissfully, extremely happy, very joyful. Drifting is moving. I just want to move like a mermaid. How the fish is so happy in the water. Once the fish comes out of the water, what happens? You are you can see how the fish is, it doesn't want to stay out, it dies. The same thing, when it is there in the water, it is so happy, it is moving, it is drifting, carried away slowly by the water, blissfully, happily. So she says, I want to be a resident, I want to be one among them, but I don't want anybody, just a sole inhabitant. Soul is alone, lonely. So here, the poet is describing Amanda, a little girl who is always pointed out by her mother for her mistakes and how she imagines her life to be. So, her mother is pointing out every now and then, sit straight, don't sit lazily, okay, don't bend your shoulders, don't bite your nails. All these instructions have been given to her by her mother. But she is imagining her life something else. She is having some dreams and she wants to live in her own world. The poet says that the mother is pointing out for biting the nails, which is a very bad habit, of course. Even you must be getting instructions from your mother not to bite nails and to sit straight without bending your shoulders, don't sit lazily, these all things. Because whenever you sit with the right posture, that gives you, no, your body becomes strong enough, or you have a right position of your body, you don't have that bending position as you grow up. So if you want to be your keep your body, in a good posture, you need to follow all these instructions. But at this point, when she's being scolded by her mother, she says that I imagine myself in a deep green sea, emerald sea, and she wants to stay there all alone. She says that I want to be like a mermaid who is alone there, leads a life in a very relaxing way. Nobody's there to interfere, nobody's there to interrupt, nobody's there to scold. I will be all alone, nicely relaxing by myself. And she wants to be carried away by the current of water and feel relaxing environment there. So this is what she's reacting to what her mother says in the first stanza, and then the next, which is given in the bracket there, that is her conversation, that is her imagination. Who's? Amanda's. And don't do this and don't do that. That is a instruction which is given by her mother. So this is about the first stanza. Let us move to the second one. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So this is something very common which every mother keeps on instructing their children, isn't it? And you children, don't ever listen to them. Your books are scattered here and there. Your uniform is one side, your shoes, your socks, your water bottle, everything of house is full of mess with all your things. Then why can't you just gather all of them and then keep it properly in whichever space is provided for those particular things? Can't you just hang your uniform correctly? Can't you keep your shoes in the rack? And then when parents come, or when especially when mothers keep on, you know pointing out for such mistakes, you start feeling bad. Why my mother always behind me? Why does she say do this, do that? When I come home from school, I'm so tired, and again my mother is nagging behind me. Why this? Why that? Oh, I'm so frustrated. I'm so fed up of all this. These all things come out then. So here the mother is saying, did you finish your homework, Amanda? Yes. Now, especially during the online classes, the laptop is on, the mobile is on, you all are writing and writing and writing. What you all are writing, you only know. When the mother comes in, did you finish your homework? Yes, ma, I'm doing. Since morning you're sitting and writing and writing and writing. What you people are writing? You only know. Homework is not getting over at all. So she's asking now, did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room? Did you keep your room clean? See there, everything is scattered. Your color pens, your pencils, your compass box, your dress, your towel, your this and that, everything. The bed is full of the things. So did you clean your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Yes. Every morning when you come to school, now you don't have to come, but when you were coming to school earlier, here we used to observe, never you took a pain to clean your shoes. The shoes were in the same position how you remove and keep it in the rack or maybe somewhere, and then early morning you have to put those, you have to wear those shoes and come like that. You don't even have 2 minutes to spend to clean your shoes. How long you're going to take? Socks also stinking, shoes also dirty. So here mother is instructing her, I had told you earlier to clean your shoes, Amanda. Why didn't you do that? To that now Amanda is responding her imagination. She says, I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So she says, I want to be like an orphan. I want to remain like an orphan. Who is an orphan? A child whose parents are dead. I mean, a child without the parents. Because she says now, every time my mother is nagging at me, do this, do that, do that, do this. I don't want all these. I wish I would be an orphan because I did not wanted such instructions to be given by my mother. Think, I wish I would be an orphan, just roaming about on the street however I want. Then when you are just moving on the street, your parents, maybe especially your elders also, see, go straight, don't go in the middle of the road, cross the road properly, see both the sides. These all instructions are given. They think I don't want all these instructions. I just want to be an orphan, just roaming about as and how I want, as my mind goes, as my mind wishes, I want to be like that. So just roaming about the street. I pattern soft dust. Pattern is nothing but the marks, the pattern of the way, she says. Walk with the marks. I just want to create my footprints, my footsteps in the soft dust with my hushed bare feet. Hushed is nothing but very calm, quiet, still with my bare feet without any footwear. I just want to come out of the house. I just want to move about on the street with bare feet. The moment you come out of the house with bare feet, Mummy comes inside. Wear your slippers, wear your footwear. See, you are going to just move about like that in the house, and just now I have cleaned the floor. The entire room gets dirty. You don't know how to walk. You don't know how to behave. These all things. So he's saying, I don't want such instructions to be given. I just want to move about on the street like an orphan with bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. You say, I want to just lead my life peacefully, where there is full of silence, with no instructions, with no pointing out, with no interference. I want to live my life in complete silence and peacefully. She wants to live her life peacefully. So, here in this second stanza, the poet says that Amanda's mother is inquiring about whether she has done her homework or not, whether she has cleaned her room or not. Moreover, what she is also reminding her, she's also reminded to clean her shoes. She has already told her earlier that, did you clean your shoes? But she has not cleaned it. So here, the mother is constantly asking her questions regarding her homework and regarding the tidy of her room and her shoes. But on the other hand, what Amanda is dreaming, She's listening to her mother, but she's in her own dream world. She's imagining herself to be an orphan who is roaming in the streets. She says that she imagines if she would have been without parents. I don't want anybody to give such instructions. I would have walked freely on the streets. I would have drawn designs on the soft dust, those patterns with my foot. Whenever you all walk on the sand, especially on the seashore, you get those footsteps, footprints of yours, and you make beautiful designs of it. So she says, I wish I could create some designs on the soft dust with my uncovered feet very quietly. That is the bare feet without any footwear. This is what she's dreaming. This is what she's imagining. So she thinks completely opposite to her mother. Her mother is saying something, she is dreaming something. So completely dead opposite, contrast we can say. She's not thinking according to what her mother is thinking, and her mother is not understanding her way of thinking, her psychology, what she is dreaming of, what she wants. So the mother is continuously nagging, and she is continuously in her own dreamland, and she's imagining so many beautiful things wherein she wants to enjoy with that. Her mother wants to keep everything neat and clean, but Amanda wants to play in the dust with her bare feet. She is so fed up with these constant instructions that she wants to say that silence is golden. That means silence is very crucial and precious. I want to live in a very peaceful place, in a very quiet and still place. And to say, because freedom is very sweet. Yes, everybody likes freedom, don't we? Yes, because it, there is no such restriction held on us when we are free. We can do whatever we want. Nobody will say, why did you go there? Why did you sit there? Or why did you wear that type of dress? Nobody. I felt, I wore it. I felt, I ate it. I felt, I sat there. So complete freedom. So I think freedom is very sweet. That means she never feels free when she is with her mother. Always that constant type of nagging will always be there behind her. So she doesn't want to live her life with this. She wants to come out. That's what she tries to dream about everything she says. Okay, so here we have completed with two stanzas, that is stanza 1, her mother's instruction to what she is responding to in stanza 2, and then uh, stanza 2, her mother tells about the completion of homework, to which she replies or she responds about being an orphan. Okay, so stanza 3 and stanza 4, we will be doing it in the next class. So I stop here for this session. That is only two stanzas we have done, right? Then we will go for some question and answer and interaction session. I hope you have understood what is being explained in these two stanzas. Yes, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Any difficulty or any doubt you
No,
had?
ma'am. No.
Okay.